All right, you guys. All right, gentlemen, gentlemen, you got to love this. You have to love this, man. Yo, you know what I'm saying? You have to love what's going on. College football season starts today. Um, there's a possibility that what I just put it this way. I'm just juiced, man. I'm so excited about the kickoff of college football today. Once again, it's always good to get away from the sport of boxing and all the nonsense that go with it. But like I've stated before, once again, we got kickoff today. So what we're gonna do? Let's talk about the upcoming season. Let's talk about the intriguing matchups on Saturday. On Saturday, I have Notre Dame, Michigan. Man, that's a big time matchup. Also on Monday, we have Virginia Tech versus Miami. Sunday, yes, yo, let's go. College football's back. I know, man. Oh my God, I'm juiced. Yeah. Sunday we have, I believe it's who is it again? Oh my God, there's a good. I think it's LSU. LSU Miami's on Sunday on ABC, man. On Saturday, there's Cal, North Carolina, that's back. Oh man, Craig, hey, that's the way I'm feeling, brother. I'm feeling that way, man. I'm juiced, man. I'm real, no, no preseason, anything like that. The real deal is here. There's high school games on too, but like I said, I'm excited about the college football season. If you have the ESPN app, the ESPN Plus app, there's also games on the ESPN app. There's gonna be a lot college football games on the ESPN app every weekend. So that's one of the pluses of getting the $5 ESPN app. Even if you think it's supporting Bob Arum, I don't view it that way. I see it as it's a lot of college footballs on the ESPN Plus app, man. Let's put it that way, for real. That's what makes the ESPN Plus. That's what separates that from the zone, man. The Doug Zone. But yeah, the ESPN Plus app, lots of college football games on there. But yeah, this weekend, man, we do have some intriguing matchups. Michigan, Notre Dame. That's a big time matchup, man. It's gonna tell a lot to me about Michigan's quarterback play. It should be improved if they're legitimate. They should be able to put up a lot of points through the air, or they should be very effective through the air. That's what stymied the Michigan team over the past few years, or ever since Jim Harbaugh's gotten there, is their lack of ability to be effective in the air. They've been very effective on the ground. They play good defense, but it doesn't matter if you can't pass, you can't win. And it's one of the reasons why Alabama made the change at quarterback. Nick Saban, went with the Tagovailoa, because Tagovailoa is able to throw the ball. He's accurate. He's an accurate passer, and that was very, very imminent. It was very important for them winning. Who needs to win worse, Kelly or Harbaugh? Oh my God. I would say Kelly. Kelly was rumored to be close to being let go last year, and a couple years ago. So Kelly's definitely on the hot seat. Kelly has to go, but Harbaugh is going to be getting close to being on the hot seat himself if he doesn't start winning. I mean, he was brought in to win the conference, not to be, finishing, third, fourth in the conference. He has to finish first. Michigan is supposed to be in the 14 playoff. That's why they hired Jim Harbaugh, to be where Ohio State's being. Like, that series should be at least even, according to, with the money that they're paying Jim Harbaugh. Jim Harbaugh has to beat Ohio State, man. I mean, even if you don't beat Ohio State one of those times, he hasn't yet. You can't continue to lose to Ohio State and keep your job. I'm just telling you, that's a fact, man. If he doesn't beat Ohio State this year, he may be on his way out, man. I'm just keeping it 100 here, man. But he'll get a job somewhere else. But there's a lot of pressure, coaching for your alma mater, man. But Jim Harbaugh has not been able to get it done. I understand he hasn't had a quarterback, but that's recruiting, man. You should have been able to recruit a quarterback to get a pro style quarterback in there who's actually accurate. And that's his fault for not recruiting. What's up, Carbro Sports TV, man? You know what I'm saying? At Jim Harbaugh's job, he's a quarterback coach. He's known as a quarterback guru. He should be able to find that talent at quarterback and to be able to bring him in and to be able to develop him and to turn him into an effective passer. Matter of fact, Jim Harbaugh, in my opinion, should be turning out first round draft picks at Michigan. Because remember, over the years in the past, Michigan put a bunch of quarterbacks in the league. So it's expected for Jim Harbaugh to be able to develop and to put quarterbacks into the league. I think Michigan beats Notre Dame this Saturday. I do too, man. I do too, but it matters how. Is their passing game effective? You know what I mean? Because that sets them up for league play. You know what I'm saying? So when they get into conference play, man, I need to know that Michigan can complete passes. Do you think Georgia Bulldogs going back to the championship? They could. They could. They're right up there with Alabama. I give Alabama the slight advantage. I think that they have a passing game, but I do think that teams will have some kind of tape, not completely though, on Tagovailoa. We're going to find out how Tagovailoa does for the entire season. My guess is that he's going to have a great season, and Alabama's going to go do very well. I do expect Georgia to definitely get back. Georgia always recruits well. I want to know how they respond after losing. Will Georgia have a letdown, or will Georgia be hungry to want to take down Alabama? That's my question. If they are, then we may see something special. My championship game is Clemson versus Alabama. I got Clemson winning. That's my pick too. But I don't have Clemson winning. I have Alabama winning. Quarterback play is still in question for Clemson. But from a defensive standpoint, in my opinion, I think Clemson's going to be the best defensive team in college football this year because of the pass rush. The pass rush is outrageous. They're going to have 4 guys. So their 4 starters on the defensive line will all be drafted. That front 7 is absolutely insane for Clemson. Clemson is a very, very scary team, and a team that can, in my opinion, has the ability to run the table and go undefeated. But it all depends on, too, the quarterback play. The defense will be there, but can your quarterback get you over the hump? You got to be able to make plays. If I knew that their quarterback was, if I was certain the quarterback was going to be able to play at an optimum level, not necessarily at the most highest level, but to be able to make the 5-yard pass, to be able to make a medium range pass when it's 3rd and 7, can you complete a pass for on a 3rd down, or are you going to be inaccurate and be going 3 and out, and eventually that catches up and teams wear out? Kelly, what about the recruits on the D line that they brought in as well? Oh, they're loaded, man. Clemson's always loaded. Clemson recruits better than probably only team that could compete with Clemson on the defensive line are usually Florida State, Ohio State, Alabama, man. Those 4 teams right there when it comes to defensive line recruiting, they're second to none, man. And that's where you win. You win on the lines. You win on offensive line. Alabama recruits well on both sides of the ball in the trenches, offense and defensive line, which is why Alabama does a very good job. They protect their quarterback because their offensive line is always top tier, and they're always putting offensive linemen into the league. So that's the key right there. Clemson got Trevor Lawrence, and I think he replaces Kelly Bryant by midseason. Oh, man, I don't know, man. I don't know. Maybe we'll see, man. We'll see. I don't know, man. Clemson's definitely loaded, man. Clemson might have the best front 7. They do have the best front 7 in the country, correct, Jay? There's no doubt about it that Clemson has the best front 7 in the country. They're going to have the best defense in the country. What I think that Willie Taggart's going to do at FSU, what I think he's going to do with DeAndre at quarterback, I think that Florida State's going to have a little bit of a bounce back year. I don't think that they're going to be in the Final Four. I think they're going to be more competitive. When it comes to Florida State, FSU, the recruiting class that they'll bring this year, I think Florida State will end up bringing in a top 3 recruiting class this year. And then I think that you'll see Florida State get better next year. By year 3 with Willie Taggart, Florida State possibly could be winning the division, or at least competing to win the division by year 3. But Willie Taggart, when it comes to recruiting, man, that dude can recruit, man. Especially he knows how to recruit the state of Florida. If you saw the class that he put together in Oregon before the whole situation with Jimbo Fisher going to Texas A&M came into effect, Oregon had a loaded class. About I think it was like 5 of those players from Oregon's recruiting class ended up going over to FSU. So that says a lot right there about Taggart and his ability and the players' affinity for him. Brothers just relate to Willie Taggart. Willie Taggart was an excellent recruiter at Western Kentucky University, and that's one of the reasons. That's the reason why Oregon brought him in, because they wanted to bring him in for the long run. Oregon has the backing with Phil Knight, who everybody knows Phil Knight and Nike are synonymous. As a matter of fact, he one of the founders of Nike. He pours a lot of money into the University of Oregon. I thought that he would be able to keep Willie Taggart, but Willie Taggart left because Willie Taggart wasn't necessarily a dynamic recruiter in the state of California, but in Florida. I think if he'd have stayed, he would have become. But in Florida, man, this guy is second to none. It's tough to beat Willie Taggart for a Floridian recruit, man. Willie Taggart, when it comes to recruiting the state of Florida, he knows the state. He's liked by the coaches, the high school coaches in the state, the parents in the state, and the guy does a lot of damage there. And I'm telling you, man, Willie Taggart is going to bring Florida State back because the guy can flat out recruit and he can also coach. If you just follow his track record, everywhere he's been, he's won. He's turned that program around, and within 2 to 3 years. So he's a proven guy. Oregon, in my opinion, made the right steps last year. Now they have Mario Cristobal was the offensive coordinator for Willie Taggart. He stayed over. He was able to keep he was able to keep the recruiting class together for the most part. At least keep it where it was still pretty good. And he's done a good job of bringing in more talent over there at Oregon so far. But when it comes to the university, when it comes to the state of Florida, man, no one's touching Willie Taggart, man. Willie Taggart is no joke, and he's going to be tough even for someone like Nick Saban to beat out within the state of Florida, man. That guy's going to keep the best talent. Here's the thing, Miami, there's a lot of talent in South Florida, and Willie Taggart is a monster down there, and that may end up hurting Miami in long term because a lot of those kids may end up at Florida State. You know what I'm saying? So can Miami hold off Willie Taggart? That's the key. Because right now, Willie Taggart is the block monster when it comes to recruiting. What do you think the University of Texas is going to do this year? I think that University of Texas is going to be a lot better this year. I think they'll have some improvements defensively. I still think there's some holes there. The offense will definitely be great. Matter of fact, you guys remember when Ohio State won the national championship, man? Tom Herman, he was the offensive coordinator there at the time. Tom Herman's also shown the ability to recruit. He recruited well over at Ohio State. He's already recruited well with the University of Texas. Texas, they did a lot of recruiting on the back end when it comes to defensive backs. They got a lot of defensive back talent that was brought in the last class, the class the year before last, and he also brought in more this year. I think you're going to see their coverage improve over the next couple of years. What you want to see, though, is what's going to happen from an offensive standpoint. Will they be able to sustain drives? Will they be able to be very effective in the passing game? But they weren't consistent last year. They were up and down, even on the defensive end. On the defensive end, they showed signs of being a great defense in the future. They're very young on both sides of the ball, but I think that Texas is heading in the right direction, and I think Tom Herman is a great coach, and I think he's going to put them on the road to being to at least winning the Big 12 in the future, because there's really outside of Oklahoma, there's no competition against Tom Herman. They can keep powerhouses in Florida with Florida recruits alone. Yeah, man. Yeah, they can. What team gonna surprise everybody this year? A team that's gonna surprise everybody, sneak up and bite someone, and do very well. Man, it's tough, man. I think it'll probably be somebody out of the the Big Ten. But the Big Ten is loaded, man. So, but I won't be surprised. Matter of fact, I see a lot. I don't really see too many teams rising up and hurting and surprising people. I see teams that are that can stunt or that can prevent a team from going to the playoffs, which or what I call like trap games with a team like Cal, is a team not gonna, I don't see them, even getting close to winning the conference, but they're a team, if you don't take them seriously, can beat you. You know what I mean? Because they're very disciplined. They play great defense, and they have great coaching. So that's a team that can do that. Like I've told you before in the past, I think I said it yesterday. Pittsburgh is always a team that you don't want to play at the end of the year. There was another team that I brought up that I forgot to bring up too. Just certain teams that can knock you down. A lot of people is jumping on West Virginia bandwagon. Yeah, West Virginia, they play. They actually have a tough game this weekend. I forgot who they play, man. So many games, but it's loaded. Who do you think will come out top of the Big Ten, Big 12? The Big 12, I'm sticking with Oklahoma, man. The Big Ten is Ohio State, man. Ohio State, but it could be Michigan. Don't be surprised if Michigan gets good quarterback play. But man, it's tough for me to look past Joey Bosa and that defensive line, man. Ohio State, not Joey Bosa, but sorry about Joey Bosa, but Joey Bosa plays for the Chargers. Sorry, his brother, man. But it's tough. It's tough for me to look past Ohio State, man, and their defense, man. Ohio State's gonna play great defense, and it's tough for me to look past to not pick Ohio State for the Big Ten championship. West Virginia has an elite quarterback and a great wide receiver, but yeah, man, West Virginia's defense, man, is what's gonna end up killing them in the end. So, I mean, scoring, you can score, but who can you stop? You got to be able to stop somebody. And to get in the Final Four, you have to play defense. Those teams that get in the Final Four defend. A team on the outside looking in, matter of fact, I'll give you another team who could possibly sneak up and be really good. Oregon. Look out for Oregon this year, too. I think Oregon can make some real improvements. Ohio State has to beat TCU week 3 and 4. That's going to be a test. If Ohio State gets through that, they're probably going to win the conference, man. Because TCU does play defense every year. Now, they have had some games where they had some high-scoring games, but for the most part, they're a good defensive team every year. They play. Yeah, West Virginia plays Tennessee. That's right. Tennessee is a rebuilding team. I like West Virginia over that. Tennessee's a team that improves every year, man. So that's a team that I suspect will make modest improvement to a start. Tennessee's actually is actually in the running for some big time recruits. Matter of fact, there's a linebacker out of De La Salle in Concord, California, out here in the Bay Area. He's one of the top prospects. He's down to 5 right now. It's Washington, Cal, Tennessee, Alabama, and oh my God, I think it was it Oregon and Oregon. Those are the 5 programs. Look out for Alabama though, but Tennessee is a team you can watch out for. Cal, who you got winning the Pac-12? I got Washington, man. I think Washington plays great defense. Washington they play great defense and they have a great quarterback. Washington not only plays great defense, but they have an NFL caliber quarterback, and that's what separates them. And they also have great running game. So when you think about Washington, I'm telling you, Washington is a team that could compete with Alabama, Clemson of the world because of their quarterback play, man, and their defense. They can stop you and they can score. And the only team I see really giving them problems, I see. USC always has a lot of talent, but I don't think they're coached very well. I think USC's coaching is lacking. I think they need to upgrade that position. But Stanford, man, I think Stanford is a team that can possibly beat them or upset them. But I would still pick Washington to win the conference. I think Washington's quarterback play, like I said, quarterback and defensive play, it what separates them from the rest of the conference. Even though I think that USC's quarterback play is going to be better too. Stanford could win the Pac-12, man. They have decent quarterback play, but it's not on the level of Washington. Washington has a quarterback who's going to be playing on Sundays, man. I'm just telling you that right in Browning. Stanford has a quarterback, not Stanford, excuse me. Washington has a quarterback in Browning. He's going to be playing on Sundays. And it shows his pocket awareness, his ability to escape pressure and to still keep his eyes down. And he's not even fast, but he's mobile within the pocket, and he has the ability to avoid sacks, and he doesn't turn the ball over. and he makes big plays. He's a playmaker on top of all of that. I'm telling you. Stanford's running back. Yeah, Love is no joke. Bryce Love is no joke. But I'm telling you, Washington can run the ball. They can pass the ball. Washington has so many formations in their offense. I'm telling you right now, they design plays well, they disguise plays well, and they defend well. Auburn might clip Washington this week. I favorite Washington, man. I like Auburn, but I think Washington gonna get them, man. I do. I think the quarterback play is gonna be the difference for real. And Washington has good. I mean, Auburn has good quarterback play too. But I'm telling you, from a defensive standpoint, from Washington's standpoint, Washington is also fast. They're fast on both sides of the ball. They have a lot of talent and they're fast on both sides of the ball, man. And the coaching, I think Washington has better coaching than Auburn. Peterson is one of the best coaches in all of college football, and he has been since Boise State. And I'm just telling you right now, man. So you gotta pay attention to that dynamic too. Washington has a great head coach, a great quarterback, top-notch running game, and a great defense. When I put that package together, I don't see Auburn beating them, man. I don't. There's only a few teams who have that package. That's Alabama and Clemson. Clemson quarterback play is still okay, but their defense is spectacular. But their head coach, they have an elite coach. Man, I'm not sure where the game is. The game, Washington Auburn, or you talking about? If you're talking about Washington Auburn, that game's in Atlanta. That's where that game is. That game's in Atlanta. They said, "What are your thoughts on Ole Miss?" Ole Miss has a great young quarterback, man. I like their quarterback. Excuse me. I like their quarterback play. Their defense is still shaky, man. Though, I mean, their defense has to make major improvements. Major improvement. Ole Miss has. It's not the Land Sharks aren't much of a aren't sharks at all, man. They're more like dolphins or penguins or something like that, man. They're food. Their defense, they played atrocious defense, man, over the past now a couple of years, man. They're not playing any kind of defense. They were terrible defensively last year. Horrific. No pass rush, no defense on the back end. The linebacker play, they have speed on that side, but they don't defend at all. And until that side of the ball improves, they're just gonna be in they're gonna be in let's put it this shootouts. Now, when they run into a team who can defend, they're gonna have problems, and that's what happened to them last year. And when it gets teams who can't defend, they'll be in the game. The Tennessee bounce back, and who do you have come out of the ACC? I don't think I think Tennessee makes improvements, but I don't think they necessarily bounce back to. I mean, they could possibly be a bowl team. If you want to say they could be a bowl. I think they could be that, but I don't think they're gonna be in the running to win the conference or anything like that. No way. Clemson wins the ACC, bro. Clemson, man. Clemson's the most talented team in the conference, and by a pretty wide margin, man. They have. Not only are they talented, but they have a lot of depth. The depth of that team, man. If they get injuries, they got guys in the back that are just as good as the guys starting, man. Clemson is loaded. Loaded. Just like Alabama is. Alabama's loaded. Clemson's loaded. And Ohio State's loaded. Those three teams right there are the three most talented teams in the country. Michigan has a lot of talent too. They just have lacked quarterback play, and that's haunted them in the past. If they can get good quarterback play, they're right up there with the other three teams that are named. So it all depends. They're expected to have good quarterback play. That don't mean that's going to necessarily work out, but we're going to find out. Notre Dame's a good test for them. Oh, FSU is loaded, man. FSU's loaded, but not as loaded as Clemson, man. But FSU, Willie Taggart did a really good job of salvaging and improving a class that was lost after Jimbo Fisher left. He actually kept some of the guys from going to other schools and brought in some other guys. So that's what so Willie Taggart will have Clemson. We'll have Florida State right up there with Clemson, man, within about another year and a half for real, from a recruiting standpoint. Hey, oh man, this dude, man, I can't block you right now, but I promise you, dude, you're going to get blocked. You are going to get blocked, man. For real. Coming in here like that, bro. You are going to get blocked. For real, man. And I'm going to report you on top of that, too. I'm going to report you, man. Man, I hope I might have to try to find out what your IP address is, dude. Find out what your IP address is. That's what I need to do. But from this standpoint alone, though, man, like I'm saying, yeah, I think FSU is definitely a team to watch out for, and in the next couple years, I do think they'll be drastic. I think they're going to be improved this year. I think next year they're going to make leaps. They're gonna make a huge leaps next year. But Clemson, man, Clemson recruiting is not gonna still slow down. If Clemson wins the national championship this year, it's gonna be tough to out recruit them, man. Because Clemson also recruits in the state of California. I mean, in the state of Florida, but Clemson also locks down the Carolinas. Clemson gets the best guys out of North Carolina, South Carolina, and they recruit the state of Florida very well, and go into Georgia on top of all that too. So Clemson, man, Clemson is absolutely loaded, man. Every year Clemson's loaded. So that's something to watch out for. But yeah, man, I'm juiced about this season, man. But you know, it's usually the same for. But somebody could be. I mean, who's a team that to look out for? I think Boise State could rise up and be a pretty good player this year. Wyoming plays great defense. The quarterback plays a little suspect, or the offense. Not the quarterback play, excuse me. The offensive line is what's going to hold them back, though. But defensively, they can hold Boise State down, in my opinion, man. If they can find a way to improve. But I do like what's happening in the Big 12. I do think that Texas is going to be a very, very improved team. And I see Oklahoma be as good as this past year. I don't know. I don't know how Kyler Murray is going to play. In the past, he hasn't been a great passer. The thing to do against Kyler Murray in the past when he was at Texas A&M, keep him in the pocket. You keep him in the pocket. He's short. I think he's probably about 5'8", and he's not a great passer, man, but he's very mobile. If you could keep him in the pocket and prevent him from getting on the edges, he hasn't shown the ability to kill you through the air. So there's an opportunity for somebody else, if his passing hasn't improved, for somebody in the Big 12 to possibly take Oklahoma down. And like I said, don't be surprised that happens, man. Oklahoma State is always a team to be on the lookout for too. But definitely, man, definitely watch out for TCU, man. TCU is the dark horse, or I shouldn't say the dark horse. It's the next in line, man. If like I said, if Kyler Murray can't throw, do you think Penn State gonna be? Oh, Penn State's definitely gonna be good, man. You know what I mean? Penn State recruits well every year too. Once again, Penn State problem has been on the defensive end. They've been able to score. They still have playmakers on the offensive end. It's, can they stop someone? They haven't been able to stop Ohio State. They haven't been able to, to stop any of the top teams. Whenever they've had an opportunity to stop teams, they haven't. They're always in shootouts. Can they get out of a shootout and stop somebody for once? That's the only way you get into the Final Four. Otherwise, they're gonna drop games. And the Big Ten is too good, too deep for them to not be able to stop anybody. Because you're not going to score a lot of points every game. One game you're going to be off. Maybe your quarterback will be inaccurate. Your offensive line play not going to be as good. Something's going to be off. Your receiver's going to be dropping passes, turnovers, no telling, and then you're going to lose the game. So they got to be able to stop somebody, man. And that's something they haven't been able to do since their resurgence. You know what I'm saying? Since their resurgence, they haven't been able to stop anybody. And that's the key. I mean, at the end of the day, we know defense is defense is the reason why Alabama, Clemson, Ohio State are in the 14 playoff damn near every year, because those three teams defend. They defend. They stop people, and if you're not stopping people, you ain't going nowhere, man. And it's just that simple, man. So I'm excited about. I want to find out. I want to find out if Penn State's going to get better defensively. Because if they don't, they're not getting into the playoffs. It's just that simple. Now, Wisconsin is a team that defends. They don't necessarily have a lot of talent, but they're always very well coached, and they run a scheme that helps their quarterback, complete passes to the tight end, to the receivers. They always run the ball well, but a lot of times when teams are able to defend that offense, they get into slugfest. Not slug, when I mean a slugfest, they grind it out, 14-10 kind of a game. They're capable of winning that kind of games, but a lot of times they end up losing those games after a team like Ohio State ekes out, or they find a way to sneak in one more touchdown, man, and they're never able to get that other touchdown. Wisconsin never really is all control team who plays defense, and that allows them to be in games. It also allows them to beat teams. But usually the upper echelon of the conference, they end up losing those games because the quarterback, either they end up turning the ball over or they just flat out can't move the ball, and they can't, you know what I mean? And eventually their defense gets worn down and then giving up too many points. So that's the key, man. But once again, man, I told you guys I was gonna come back and do the stream. It said Cali Ohio State plays at Penn State this year. Yeah, even with that, man, at Colorado, even with that, though, man, Penn State, they don't defend, man. They gotta play defense. If they don't, they ain't winning. Just that simple. But I'm getting ready to end this stream. I'm gonna get ready to start getting ready for work. But you guys enjoy the games today. There's a lot of games on today. Enjoy the games tomorrow, and most definitely enjoy the games on Saturday. I may try to do a live stream tomorrow. I would definitely want to do one on Saturday. And we're gonna do maybe do a recap video in the PM of the games. So that's what I want to kind of do. Maybe I could talk with CJ, and we could do like a Google Hangouts or something like that, man. I'm talking about college football on Saturday. All right, y'all. So salute to y'all, man.